Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I've never said that. I'm so excited. I've never said that. But yeah, welcome back. Thank you for coming once again. Today we have a very fast, simple video. As I said previously in one of my videos, background painting is super hard. But you know what's harder than background painting? Getting feedback for background painting. Especially if you're not in art school, getting feedback is super hard. Even when you already graduate, feedback is super important. It's hard to get. So today I just wanted to give some of you guys feedback for your background paintings. Just a disclaimer, this is just my opinion. What I say is not truth. It's just little things that will elevate your background painting to another level. I asked on my stories for anyone that may want some feedback. And surprisingly, a lot of people actually sent their paintings, and I'm super happy for the people that sent them. Thank you so much. Before we start the video, I wanted to give thanks to our sponsor today, Skillshare. It's the new year, and I think it's the perfect time to treat yourself or your loved ones to a new skill. Skillshare has creative classes taught by amazing, world-class creatives like professional illustrators, renowned graphic designers, and successful entrepreneurs. The platform is designed to help you build creativity into your life by learning directly from real, super talented, and successful creatives. Every year I set artistic goals for myself. One of my goals is to go back to the basics and kind of relearn the fundamentals of art. My goal for 2026 is to try to draw at least 10 minutes a day. The How to Draw a Beginner's Guide by Brent Eviston has been helping me reach that goal before the new year. I was also thinking of what to get for my mom this Christmas. Honestly, she's really getting into video editing, which is really cute. She's been wanting to learn DaVinci Resolve. I actually gifted her like a membership for Skillshare so she can learn like new programs and methods of video editing. She was really happy with my early gift, and I hope you enjoy it, Mom. The first 500 people to click the link in my description or scan this QR code will receive 1 month of free trial on Skillshare. Get started today. So the first piece we have was submitted by my friend Cameron Felt. Cameron is really good, and she does some amazing layouts and some amazing BG paints. So she's already really good, but she sent this like canyon piece she did. I think I remember you did this for the Streets of Zine. I remember when you did this. She said that the paint on this piece was really weak, and yeah, so let's see what we can do about this. So basically, it has already like a really good base. The composition is really good, so we're just gonna be critiquing the paint this time around. I actually don't have Photoshop anymore, so this will be a learning process for me at least. But yeah, I actually got some painting references from Pinterest, and I think the biggest issue right here is that I see that for these shadows are basically the same color as everything else. What I feel that you did is that you only went in with a multiply and called it a day, which is not bad, and it works most of the time. But especially for canyon images, the colors are so vibrant in canyons, like the way that light bounces on everything. As you can see on this reference, there's always like a little bit of like purple on the shadows for canyons, and there's like very bright bounce light from the ground up. I feel that this is just, the coloring is a little bit bland. So in this case, what I'm gonna do, I feel that we could use a little bit of like a brighter yellow over here, and I'm using like a color changing brush here. I'm not gonna do like a full painting, but we can do like a little gradient over here. So here is very bright, so this immediately does like a really big change. And then we can, I think this has to be very dark, so we can do, I'm actually gonna color pick from here because it's really good. Sometimes color picking from like other pieces makes you learn a lot, but this is basically a very saturated, like unsaturated red. You maybe use it here. Maybe try to play around with like different hues. I feel that you're a little bit scared of like using different hues for like different things. Like you feel, oh, you see something that is orange, then you think of using orange. But when in reality, there's like so many different colors in the same place. So we're gonna use, and then we can use this like very saturated. It's not even purple. I think it's a very unsaturated red. Oh no, this is actually purple. So we can use like this, like a very saturated purple, just to give a little pop to things, you know. And also like imply, since this area is like very here, so I would like add a little bit more detail to like the foreground and like rock texture. It's not great, okay? I'm doing my best. And then we can add like an edge highlight here, also with like some. And then honestly, I feel that this canyon, because it's like kind of it's like a frame over here, we can make it very, very dark. So all of this can be really, really dark. Like even if there's light coming from there, I feel that it's not very necessary, because this kind of, the value here, I see it merges a lot with everything here. So this light is not very necessary. We can use a little bit more of that like purple here and makes it look interesting. And then let's see the difference. Yeah, now already it makes a huge difference. It already has like a very strong composition, so in general it's just a bit of a oomph. And then I feel that we can use a little bit of color dodge. I think this kind of paintings in general need a lot of color dodge with like an airbrush, and just a little bit of color dodge goes a long way. Say a little bit of bounce light here, a little bit of bounce light there. So you can tell the difference already. This is just my opinion, but I feel that the color in the sky is a little bit too dull. I really like this green that they used on this one specifically, so I kind of want to use it for the sky. It's just my opinion though. I like very vibrant colors, so it's just my kind of way. And then we can give a little bit more highlight to these clouds. And then I always use a color changing brush because it just adds more dimension, and I do really like these. So especially like when it's about color, it's good to study other artists and see what they do. So just in general, it's more striking, you know. And then I honestly really like just putting like a little bit of like a vignette to stuff with like a multiplier in front to like give more focus. And then another thing that we can do is that we can add like a, you know how like in shadows there's this like red highlight there. So that is my really, really fast. I actually like the mountains, in the background. Those are very nice. The colors are very nice. These machines, I feel that they have like a good color. Maybe just they could have like some maybe orange highlights or something like that. Some lights from the sky coming in. And also because this mountain is giving so much shadow, I feel that these machines should also be giving a little bit of shadow in that sense. And also this mountain as well should be giving a little bit of shadow. But yeah, this is basically my really, really express paint over. You can tell the difference. It's more about like the change of colors and color variation. Just analyzing how colors bounce. Just using colors to like enhance your point of interest, which is this area. But yeah, this is my paint over. Thank you so much, Cameron. I hope this was useful, and thank you so much for the support, okay? So now, this next piece was submitted by Muy Bonilla. His only message was rosteame, so he wanted to be roasted. I like the idea. I like the composition. It's very epic. It's very nice, and the style sort of reminded me of Alarico's work. He's a great artist, and he's also a great reference. He is really good with color and painting in general, so I will use him as reference in this case. I feel that, as I said with Cameron before, studying artists that do similar things or things that you want to do is a very good exercise that you can do, especially if you feel that you're not as strong as them in color. So we're gonna study how Alarico uses their color for your piece in general, okay? So first thing that stands out, I feel that the sky is a little bit weak, and I really like how Alarico uses this very saturated blue, and it's a gradient, and usually with skies it's always a gradient, so we can do a gradient here in the back. Again, it's not going to be a perfect painting, but yeah, I feel that also the value of the sky is the same as the value in the structure, so we cannot really see the structure for some reason. So I feel that a darker sky will actually enhance your piece. So we're gonna use like a big airbrush. We're gonna repaint the clouds later, but basically just this already like elevates the whole painting in general. And then the clouds, same thing. I'm gonna use like a very saturated white. Maybe for the clouds you don't have to do line art for clouds. Maybe you can change the color of the clouds so it looks a little bit more alive. It's just a really fast paint over, okay? But just basically, you see how these colors mix? You can like, if you use like a very, kind of like a brush with opacity, it's good. But same, as you can see, Alarico has like a little bit of like bounce light from the clouds there. So it just helps a little bit. I know it's not perfect, but I like it. I like this green that you used. I feel like you can use like a darker green to give more contrast. And then this will have a little bit of shadow. So everything that you put will cast a shadow, so I feel. And also you don't really have a strong sense of like where light is coming from. I feel that just based on this structure, I feel that your light is coming from here. So that's something, this structure has shadow, but then this island also needs to have some shadow. So we'll do that as well. We'll just make a little bit like a more 3D. Just a single like edge like this already adds so much 3D to the volume, to the piece in general. And then this, I actually like the color of this shadow. The only thing is that it needs a little bit of like, the sky sends like its color, like there's bounce light from the sky. So there'll be a bit of like blue in this shadow. And then for the light area, it'll be a little bit more yellowish, as you can see in Alarico. So let's see what Alarico did. As you can see, it is a little bit more yellow. So we can use this yellow over here just to enhance this, because I feel that this is our main focus. There we go. And then for the ocean, I feel like you used like a very similar color as Alarico used. As you can see, it's almost the same. And then I'm gonna take out this ship. I'm so sorry. These waves, I feel like you just put like a bunch of random scribbles and you didn't really analyze, or you didn't have like a very strong like reference for your waves. Just in general, waves will not appear white as much in like oceans. I'll put like a reference or something, so you can paint everything over here. As you can see, Alarico put the white, especially like around the island, like where the waves hit, and then he did it a bit more dark towards the back, and then lighter towards here, something like that. And then always try to use like a color changing brush, which I feel like you are using, but just a little bit more. And then we can add a little bit of like that white. But before adding the white, I'm gonna do something. So I'm gonna merge this entire thing, and then what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna duplicate this island. So I'm gonna select it. If you have it in another layer, great. I don't, so we'll have to work with what we have. So we duplicated it, and then we're gonna flip it, turn down the opacity a little. We can put it in multiply because it's a little bit darker, and then it creates like a really cool like effect on the water. I like to blur it a little bit, so I go to filter, blur, then motion blur, and the motion blur has to go down. Let me see if I can, there we go. So the angle for the motion blur has to be, so if you add just a tiny bit of motion blur, adds a lot to water just in general, and put a little bit of like white on this area, and you've got water basically. And then same thing, we can duplicate or just add like a little bit of like a shadow here to this boat, and then you're good. It's more about making your colors a little bit more alive, putting some reflections on the water, and studying other artists that do something similar. But yeah, overall, I like this piece. It's pretty fun. And yeah, so this is before and this is after. Before and after. So just stronger shadows and a little bit more saturation. And then also double check your value. So to double check your value, so basically how light and how dark a color is, you can put like a black layer and then put it in color. This helps you check your values. As you can see, the values of the shadow and the sky are pretty much the same. So just double checking your values. So now let's check the values of my paint over. They're a little bit more clear and everything is like, yeah, that's the paint over. I hope that it's helpful to you, Bon Amoy. And yeah, next and last paint over. Our last painting for today is gonna be my friend Jesse's painting. But yeah, Jesse just wanted some feedback on color as well. He has this really awesome autumn forest. I like the colors. I really like the composition. Jesse is a layout artist, so he knows a lot about line art and about composition. However, when it comes to color, first thing that comes that just pops out right away, I'm like really good at like noticing when people use straight up black or white in their colors. This is a pure white. Never, I'm gonna scold you, Jesse. Never use pure white or pure black in a painting. That's just gonna make it really muddy. Unless you're doing it in a very purposeful way, it works. But when you're starting out to paint, using white is a no. It just makes everything look muddy and it just doesn't work that much. Same thing with black, or like a very similar, like let's say you have a red and then for shadow you just go down over here for a shadow. That just doesn't work. It makes it look very muddy as well, and I feel this is the case for this thing. So basically here you have like a grayish yellow, and then you basically just went darker for the shadow. That is a no. So try to avoid that at all costs. So we're gonna try and save this thing. During the fall, there's so many colors everywhere, and it's very rich. And I don't see that here. I just see yellow and gray. So we're gonna try to and fix this, okay? So first thing, I feel that, as you can see on these paintings, what we can do is that we can do like a very rich yellow. Honestly, here we can do like a pure yellow instead of the white. Like have like more force coming like as like coming out of here. Perfect. And then we can do like a orange, like a darker orange, just to change things up a little bit. And then for these trunks that you want, this is a straight up gray, so try to avoid that as well. We can use like a more, you know, this person is using like a little bit, still like in the oranges, but still not going towards the grays just yet. And it also changes, like helps with the values, because I feel the values here are very similar to the values here. Then for the trunk itself, I actually do like that you used a little bit of gray here, but I feel that the highlight is just not working for me. So let me go towards like a more brownish color. I like what this person is doing here, and I like the bounce. So let me see what I can do. So let's do like a stronger light. And then I still want to keep your idea of having like, I don't want to go super warm because I feel that it's not what you were going for. But still, we're going to add a little bit of bounce light because it is very orange everywhere. So we're going to add a little bit of bounce light. Bounce light honestly adds a lot. I do like that you added a little bit of that. Then we can also add like a very rich green like this person did here for the moss, just to change things up and add a little bit more interest to the piece. You can add a little bit of like more lighter moss over here. And then I do really like how these two people, like the leaves on the top are orange, but the ones that are like completely dead are more like towards like the reds. So we can add a lot of like, just give that whole autumn vibe, fill everything with leaves. It just makes everything look richer, you know? You can use like a brush, like a textured brush. Devin, Elle, Kurtz has like really good leaf brushes that you can use. I'll share the link in the description, but she has really good brushes that you can use for this sort of thing. And then we can add a little bit of like bounce light like this artist did. Like how the leaves throw a little bit of like light like this. We can add a little bit of that to the tree as well. So let's see how the difference for now. Huge difference, huge difference. Just, I feel that this yellow over here just makes it pop way more. Trail, we can make it a little bit lighter as well. And then we can add some color dodge with yellow, just from like all of the light coming from there. Maybe we can do it a little bit more orangey coming from here. Just makes it look richer. So this is before and this is after. Don't be scared of using color. Like, don't be scared of going bold. Very important for shadows. If you're just painting straight up, change the hue. If you're gonna do a red, like our shadow for this red, let's say, go a little bit towards the purple, or go, especially shadows are usually more cool than the lights. But if it's opposite, you're also able to do that. But try moving hues instead of going straight up to like a very gray color. It's a very rough paint, but I feel that it adds a lot. And then if you want to make things a little bit darker, we can like add a little bit, like I did with Cameron, just a little bit of a multiply on top of everything to add like a little bit of a vignette if you want. But yeah, I feel that the difference is huge, I feel, for this one especially. But yeah, thank you so much, Jessie, and I hope that this was useful to you. And with that, we are done with our feedback sesh. I'm sorry for anyone that I wasn't able to give feedback to on this video. I'm actually gonna give you feedback and I'm gonna send it to you via your DMs. It's just that I don't want this video to be too long. I hope that it was useful. I hope that you learned a thing or two about color with this. Happy holidays, guys. Happy New Year. I hope that your 2026 is an amazing year. And before I end this video, I also wanted to thank you guys so much. This is the first year that I do YouTube, and it's been a dream of mine for a long time. Ever since I was a kid, I've been wanting to be a YouTuber, like everyone does. But I was always very scared, but this year I said, no, I'm gonna try it, and the support has been amazing. I'm so thankful for every single person that just sits down and listens to me yap about art for 10 minutes. I'm just very thankful and lucky to have you guys on Instagram, Twitter, wherever. The art community is amazing and it makes me feel very loved and appreciated. And yeah, so thank you guys so much. And feel free to watch my other videos. I have a lot of BG paint tutorials, prop tutorials, anything you want. Feel free to look around. And yeah, thank you so much. Happy holidays, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.